I'm 16 years old on stage in front of 25,000 people. The speakers are bumping, the fans are screaming, and the star of the show is running out, and I'm in position. Like you all thinking, how did I get here? When I was 12 years old, I became obsessed with photography. I started printing and framing my photos, and one day, I went to show my grandparents, and my papa said, "Hey kiddo, how much to buy one?" I said, "Papa, this is one of one. It's gonna cost you a lot." But seriously, that's when I became a professional photographer at 12 years old. So I made a website, I started reaching out to brands and getting sponsored. My career's taking off at this point. And so I think, why not mix my love of photography and my love of music? So I got an opportunity to shoot Lollapalooza Music Festival in Chicago, a massive festival with many people and many stages. And I got to be in the photo pit, so close that Wiz Khalifa's performing, and he spits, and I'm under the stage, and I snap the shot. So yeah, I get the shot and the shower. Worth it. So then when I get back home to DC, I want to photograph every concert coming to the area. So I see an artist by the name of Lil Xan coming to town. Lil, short for little, and Xan, short for Xanax. And I was like, this guy is cool. He's got face tattoos all over him. He's got anxiety tatted on his neck. Wow, he's visually so interesting. I was like, I gotta get some pictures of this guy. So I reach out, and that night I get a message, and they tell me where and when to meet the team. And I'm in school right now, and I'm just like, yo, not only am I going to the show, but I have my camera, and I get to meet the artist. And I have friends paying for tickets. Couldn't be me. But no, so I go to the hotel, and I'm incredibly nervous, but I know I have a job to do. So I go up to Xan, introduce myself, and ask him, hey, could I take your photo? And he says, yes, of course. So I take his photo, and my camera wouldn't. And you know, photography can be annoying. Dad, chill. But so, I love my parents, and you'll see why later on in the story. Backstage, he tells me, Joe, you know, I used to be a photographer like you, photographing shows, until my camera was stolen, so I turned to the microphone. So I could see he saw a little bit of himself in me. And later that night, he said, Joe, I want you to come to Firefly Music Festival next week in Delaware. I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome, I would love to. I'm not old enough to drive, so can my cousin come with me? He said yes. So me and my cousin drive to Dover, Delaware, just us two. And then we're on stage in front of 25,000 people. It was insane. And I remember going in the parking lot after the show, and a group of fans on a golf cart see me and my cousin. They're like, yo, we saw you guys on stage with Lil Xan. Hop on, we'll give you a ride. I was like, wow, special treatment. How nice. A few weeks later, I buy a one-way ticket to Los Angeles. It's where Xan lives. So I give him a call, and I say, hey, I'm here for a month. You want to take some pictures? He said, yeah, come on over. So I go to his apartment, penthouse suite in downtown Los Angeles, and I'd stay there for an entire month. You may be wondering what my parents think of this situation. I FaceTime my mom. Xan holds the phone with all of his face tattoos and says, you've got a great kid. Mom says, please take good care of him. And he says, yeah, he's in good hands. For a month, we would take photos, we would go to recording studio sessions, we'd meet other celebrities and musicians like Drake Bell from Drake and Josh, and Carl from Shameless, and Riley Reid for all you porn addicts. It was a blast. We would smoke ounces of weed rolled by his two lovely personal assistants who made fresh chocolate chip cookies always at the right time. It was incredible. He also was posting photos and videos I was taking of him and tagging me. So my Instagram went from a few thousand to 80,000 followers. So now I'm famous. This is pretty sweet. But also it's gonna be tough going back to math class in a few weeks. So I go back there, and he gives me a call and he says, Joe, I want you on tour, the Xanarchy 2019 tour. I said, hell yeah, but I'm gonna tell my parents that I'm going on tour. So I say, Mom and Dad, I'm going on tour. They said, Joe, have a great time. We can't wait to see your pictures, have fun. They're so supportive and I love them so much. And they said, you're gonna have to ask your school. So I asked my school and I say, for a month, I'm gonna go be helping hospitalized children. Just kidding. So I ask them, hey, I'm going on tour. They say, you know, we know your passion for photography. As long as you do all your assignments and talk to a tutor every day, you're good to go. I said, oh, of course, no problem. Definitely did not do that. So the plan is I fly to Los Angeles and me and Xan go to New York City for the first night of tour. I get to LA and Xan's manager gives me a call. I assume he wants to talk logistics and content and stuff like that. Then I sit across from a man who wastes absolutely no time in humiliating me. He says, Joe, what are you doing in LA? I was like, I thought that was obvious. I'm going with Xan to tour. He said, with a big smile on his face, Joe, and you didn't think to ask me first? You're not going on tour. There's hundreds of photographers in every single city that will shoot the show for free with way more experience than you. There's no room for you on the bus or in the budget. I'm flying you home tomorrow. I'm crushed. My heart is absolutely broken. And I'm just thinking about tour and that I'd have to go back and tell my friends, family, and school that I got denied in LA. But that was not an option for me. I decided I'll fly to New York City the next morning with Xan and go for the first night of tour and see what happens. So I get to the airport and I look over my shoulder, expecting a manager to be there, but he's not. So I think to myself, who's gonna stop me? No one. No one's gonna stop me. So I fly to New York City, we enter the tour bus, I find a cabin, throw all my shit in there, and I say, this is my spot. So I'd have a spot, and I would stay there for the next month. The first night in New York City was a blast. I was running around the venue, getting videos and photos all over the place. But I didn't mention that the majority of Xan's fans are teenage girls. And so I realized photography and filmmaking wasn't my only job. I needed to make sure that all girls coming onto the tour bus were over 18. So I'm checking IDs. And I'm 17 years old myself. At this point, the furthest I've ever went with a woman was a kiss. I'm in my bunk the first night, and my cabin starts to shake. I'm like, what's going on? Xan rips open the curtain and says, Joe, there's a 26-year-old girl on the tour bus that wants to suck your dick. I kick him in the face and put the curtain down and I say, hey, that's not what I'm here for. No, but seriously, I had work to do. I was exhausted. And so that wasn't gonna happen. But by the end of the tour, for anyone concerned, that wasn't the farthest I had gone with a woman. The theme of this show is coming of age. All right? But yeah, 6 years later, the camera took me across continents. My photos of Xan got featured in Playboy magazine. We made big music videos. I traveled with other artists around all over the country. And yeah, so thanks for listening to my story, guys, and peace.